morning, everybody. Okay, so while we're waiting for people to get in here, we'll finish getting this set up. So what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about this guy right here. As everybody knows, there has been a change of venue in the Bryan Kohberger case, but there has been a lot of changes. We are about to find out what this judge here has in store for the Bryan Kohberger case now. And we're going to see how he's going to rule his courtroom, because it is looking like there is not going to be a circus any longer. Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Nana. We got some news here, and I've kind of read through. There's a few documents that have come out, and I've kind of read through them, and it looks like this is going to be a judge that's going to be ruling with an iron fist. We've got a lot of information that has come out that we're going to also go over. And there's some shocking news here, because by these filings, it tells us a lot if you can read between the lines. And you know, I'm good at doing that. So, good morning, Git. Good morning, good morning. So we're going to start. So this is the order we already know about, but there's some new information that just came out late last night, and we're going to get to that. We'll go over this briefly while we wait for everybody to get in. If you are in, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed already, because when things come out, you're going to hear it here first. I haven't heard anybody else bring this out yet, so you guys in here are going to be the first to see all this. And yes, this judge is going to be strict, and we're going to see that in the filings that just went in last night on this case. Also, I'm thinking, we're going to read through it, but I'm thinking there's going to be more paperwork that's released that has been under seal. Charissa, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So briefly, let's just go through this right now. This is the Supreme Court. We know when Judge quit, he changed the venue already. He ordered that a change of venue is to take place before he exited, left, deuces, I'm out of here, right? So he kicked it up to the Supreme Court to make the decision on where the new trial is good, whether the trial is going to be held at a new venue. And he also stipulated in that he did not want to be on this case anymore. So this is the Supreme Court's ruling that came down, the order. You can see it right here, the order that came down. An order granting the defendant's motion to change venue was entered by the district court, wherein it was requested that venue for trial be transferred from Latah County, 2nd Judicial District, in the case listed below. And we see here, this is regarding Bryan Kohberger. Therefore, after due consideration and good cause appearing, it is ordered that the venue for all further proceedings in this case are transferred from Latah County, 2nd Judicial District, to Ada County, the 4th Judicial District. And this is exactly what Ann Taylor wanted, right? Now, this can be a blessing or a curse for Ann Taylor, because from what I've seen about this judge is a no-hold-barred and rules his courtroom with an iron fist. And that is exactly what we needed. We needed a lot of changes in this case, and I'm telling you, wait till you see what's coming, okay? Because there's some indication here that it's more than just Judge John Judge that's leaving this case. Let's get into it. Good morning, Carol. Okay, it is further ordered that the District Judge Steven Hippler shall be assigned to the case and may not be disqualified without cause pursuant to Idaho Criminal Code 25A 9, subsection C. It is further ordered that the defendant shall be transferred forthwith to the custody of Ada County Sheriff pursuant to Idaho Code Section 1805. He has been transferred. He was flown from Moscow to Ada County. And that happened, I believe it was last Saturday. He was taken out of below the courthouse in Moscow. He was taken out of there and flown to the new jail. We will look at that. Hey, Nay. Hello and good morning. I'm glad you caught it too. So nice to see you here. It's further ordered that the district court clerk for Latah County shall file and serve this order upon the parties or their counsel and take any action necessary to transfer venue of this case to Ada County. So this was dated on the 12th, which was last Thursday, not this Thursday that just passed, the Thursday before. And I believe on the 14th, Bryan was transferred out. I'll bring up them pictures after, you guys just remind me. So now what do we have, right? What's next? We have a hearing coming up. This judge is not wasting any time. We have an order coming up, a hearing coming up this Thursday. We will be covering that live. So if you're here right now, watch for this. 2, 3. It'll be 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Idaho time. So I do believe, let me just check, double check. Oh, so it'll be 4 p.m. my time. So 4 p.m. Eastern, they're only, Ada County's only 2 hours behind. Whereas when they were in Moscow, they were 3 hours behind me. So they're only 2. That's good. That's a good thing. So 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock Idaho time, 4 p.m. Eastern, we will be covering this case. And we're going to see what this judge has in store. Okay. Okay. So what have I seen here? I'm going to go through a little bit of this because there's some interesting information in this. And this is from Seattle Times, the Seattle Times newspaper, I guess. It just goes on to say Bryan Kohberger, the man charged with stabbing deaths, blah, 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 blah. Idaho 4 District Judge Steven Hippler was recently assigned to the high-profile case, scheduled a status conference for Kohberger for September 26th. The Idaho Supreme Court moved Kohberger's murder trial from Moscow to Boise, and Kohberger was transferred by plane to Ada County this past Sunday. Okay, so it was Sunday, not Saturday. Kohberger is accused. Okay, Kohberger faces 4 counts of first degree and 1 count of felony burglary. Prosecutors intend to seek the death penalty if the jury convicts them. Kohberger's defense attorneys have filed motions to have capital punishment struck as a possible sentence. Now, if you haven't seen my last live, go check that out. They filed like a 400-page motion among other motions, some of which were 58 pages. Another one was like 60-something pages. We briefly went over them in the last live regarding this. I will pin that at the end of this video. You'll see it come up on screen. I'll pin both of them up there at the end of this, so you will find them on the screen at the end of this video. Kohberger's trial was scheduled to start in June 2025 by the prior judge on the case. But the venue change to Boise and switch in judges led to the trial date and location and each of the proceedings leading up to it being vacated. I don't know if I can make this bigger. You guys can't really see it, eh? Hang on, let me see if I can make this bigger. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that, you guys. So right here, it's saying, but the change in venue to Boise and switch in judges led to the trial date and location and each of the proceedings leading up to it being vacated and possibly delayed. So this could be delayed even further, which is exactly what Ann Taylor wanted. I think, Carol, that it will be streamed. It's good. We're going to get into that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think we may get into it. Maybe. Let's see what the documents say. Good morning, Deborah. Okay, Hippler is expected to set a new court schedule next Thursday at Thursday's status conference at the Ada County Courthouse. So let's get into this, you guys. We're going to see a little bit right here. We've got 2 documents to go over. Well, before we hit this, let's look at this. This is KTVB has put in a request to obtain approval of the presiding judge to video, audio, and record or broadcast the proceedings, and the judge denied it. Okay. He says he's denying it because it's going to be the court audio and video that will be streaming it out to the public. So let's get back here to this order. We are going to see a little bit of how this judge is going to take control of his courtroom. And this is interesting, you guys. Leslie, hello. Oh, yes. Another thing that I wanted to show you in this, because this is interesting, you guys. We're wondering, now that Judge John Judge is off the case, if you guys watched the last hearing that Judge Judge had, I don't know if a lot of you guys realized, at least to me, that Bill Thompson seemed checked out. Like, deuces, I'm out of here. It's like, I don't want to even deal with this case anymore. They called no witnesses. This was for the change of venue. We sat through that for 7 hours. Basically, it was the defense that basically spoke. I think Ashley, what's her name? Ashley Jennings, the other prosecutor on the case with Bill Thompson that was sitting at the desk during the change of venue hearing. She got up and briefly said a few things. They called no experts. They called no witnesses. They did absolutely nothing to try and fight this change of venue. So when we see this, what's on your screen right now, this is the new judge setting a status conference in his courtroom, and it's going to be Judge Steven Hippler, as we see right here. Okay. But what the interesting part about this is, when they send out notices like this, they have to send it to every party that is involved in the case, the defense, the prosecution, etc. Okay. What I find interesting, okay, certificate of service. Okay. So I explained this a little bit when I was explaining what I did when I used to do process serving, skip tracing, stuff like that. I would have to, go pick up the paperwork, go and serve the person. Once I served it, I would have to fill out a certificate of service, go back to the courtroom. When I filed the documents, put them into the continuing record, I would also have to fill out a certificate of service saying who I served the documents on, what time, where, everything. Okay. The courts have to do the same thing when anything is put into the record. So here's the certificate of service. I certify that on this date, I served a copy of the attached to Jeffrey D. Nye, Ingrid Christina Beatty. Now, those two, we haven't seen a lot of these two, but they did sit in on the prosecution side, these two right here. They did sit in on the prosecution side. I think they're part of the Idaho Attorney General's office. There was some pleadings stuff. I think that was going on with the IGG and stuff like that when the FBI stuff was involved. They were there on the prosecution side, okay, and sat in. So they have been served with this document. They got a copy of it, okay? Now, the only other people that have been served is Alyssa G. Massoff and Ann Taylor. Those are the two attorneys for the defense. Look at you guys. That's the end of the document. Where is Ashley? Where is Bill Thompson? Neither one of them have been served as per the certificate of service. They have not been served to attend this status conference. What does that tell me? What this tells me is Bill Thompson and Ashley Jennings are off this case. Now, I want to state it right here. This is just my opinion. I know how these things work. Like you guys know, I worked in the criminal justice system for over 30 years. To me, being that the certificate of service was filled out and by email for both Jeffrey D. Nye and Ingrid Christina Beatty, who are from the Idaho State Attorney's Office, they've been served, and Alyssa G. Massoff and Ann Taylor for the defense have been served. There's nothing on here, you guys, for Ashley Jennings or Bill Thompson. I think that's me wiping my hands. Deuces. Not only is the judge bowed out, I believe Bill Thompson and Ashley Jennings are also off the case. This is just my opinion by what I am seeing in this filing. This filing states all parties and counsel are required to be present. All parties and counsel are required to be present. These are the ones that were served to be present. They have to be present. Where's Bill Thompson? Where's Ashley? I think they're gone. Hello, K. Mitch. Good to see you. Leslie, hello, my dear. I think they're gone. They're gone. Now, is that Carolyn? I was just about to say, is this good or bad? This could be very good. As I just stated, I believe Bill Thompson was totally checked out. If you watched along with us at the change of venue hearing, he seemed checked out. Done. Right? And he was also stating that this was going to be his last case, that he was retiring after the Bryan Kohberger case. Now, is it because the case is being moved 300 miles away? Who knows? Who knows? But we're going to find out, because to me, it looks like Bill Thompson and Ashley Jennings is off this case. I believe that there's going to be probably a couple more prosecutors assigned to this case, which leads me to believe what we just read with this University of Idaho thing here, right here, but the venue changed to Boise and switch in judges led the trial date and location and each of the proceedings leading up to it being vacated and possibly delayed. This is why I think that this is probably going to happen. I do believe that it's going to be delayed. There's going to be at this hearing that's coming up on Thursday, and we will cover it. I do believe that it may be delayed. I don't think this trial is going to be going through in June of 2025. I do believe it will be delayed. And I believe that because the new prosecutors, the new judge are all going to have to get up to speed on this case. Now, if I would have seen in this document here, if I would have seen Bill Thompson or Ashley Jennings listed here, I would have said, no, it's going to go ahead on the 25th of, on June 2025. But because I'm not seeing them, I'm only seeing Jeffrey D. Nye and Ingrid Christina Beatty, and those are from the Attorney General's office. I do believe that there's going to be some prosecutors that are added to this case, and they're going to need time to get caught up on this case. So I do believe it's going to be delayed. I could be wrong. It's not like I haven't been wrong before, and it is what it is. I'm just giving you my opinion from the history that I have. So I do believe that this is going to happen. I believe that right now, as it stands, the date for the prosecution to have all their evidence disclosed has long passed. It was for the beginning of September. I believe the defense has until December, maybe early into the new year. I don't have all the dates in front of me, but I know either the end of December, very early of 2025 was the defense's deadline to have all their disclosure turned over to the prosecution. The prosecution had to have all their evidence turned over to the defense by the beginning of September. It was the first week of September. So how is this going to change everything? I don't know. I really don't know. But it says here, Hippler is expected to set a new court schedule at next Thursday's status conference at the Ada County Courthouse. So we will be covering that. I will be live streaming it. So be sure to keep that day marked, and we will be going through that. Okay, so here we go. This is where I'm saying that this judge is ruling with a heavy hand. He is taking control of his courtroom. So let's go through this. This is 6 pages. There hasn't been any new, he won't take Ann's BS, that's for sure. I haven't seen any new motions as to date, and I'm up to date as of yesterday, late last night. That's where I've got these documents. Give me a second, you guys. Okay, so that's where I got these documents. They were just put up last night. Let me just do this for a minute. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys something here. Okay. There you go. Okay, there you go. I just gave 5 memberships. They are free for the next 30 days for you guys. And hopefully at the end of your free period, you will want to join the memberships. And I will be doing another draw the end of the month, nearing the end of the month, for a giveaway for either a shirt or something. I will be doing another giveaway. So let's get back to this here. Sex Abuse says this case has procrastinated enough and needs to be pushed forward. Absolutely, I agree 100%. Okay, so let's go through this and see what we can expect from this judge, because this is interesting. To provide for the orderly disposition of this case, this order shall govern the conduct of the public and media in the Ada County Courthouse for the entirety of this case, including the jury trial and supersedes here, this part here. I love it. And supersedes any prior courtroom conduct orders in this case. So whatever orders that the previous judge, Judge John Judge, ordered, those are null and void now. He is setting his own. And he's making sure that everybody knows that these orders supersede any prior courtroom conduct orders in this case. The court is mindful of the need to balance, 1, the constitutional rights of the defendant, 2, the public's interest and right to information in conjunction with certain constitutional and statutory rights for the public to attend the proceedings, 3, the court's interest in maintaining order and an environment which permits all participants to focus on their responsibilities without undue distractions, and 4, the court's interest in the safety of the public and the court security personnel. So, see this here? What sparked my interest when I read this is up till now, Bryan Kohberger has been able to dress up and wear his suit and tie and look like he's one of the lawyers sitting there instead of the defendant. Is this judge going to say, because of 4 right here, the court's interest in the safety of the public and court and security personnel, he is to be in orange until his trial? Everywhere for these motions hearings and stuff like that, not even up to pretrial, the defendants are always brought in orange. It's not like there's a jury sitting there or anything like that. It's just the judge. It's people in the gallery. It's the prosecution and the defense. There's no jury there to look at him, to be judging him because he's sitting in orange. But it's also for security reasons. So if he was to try and bolt, I don't think he'd ever try that, but who knows? He's in orange. He would stand out among everybody else in the courtroom, right? So is this judge going to say, no, until the pretrial, he is to be in orange? Is he going to do that? Because when we get into the second part of this, you're going to see the security measures that this judge is putting into effect, shutting down the floor. We'll get into that. Stay with us. We'll get into it. So is he going to take that away? Hopeful. With these factors in mind, pursuant to the Idaho Court Administrative Rules, ICAR 45 and 49, the court orders as follows. I hope so. Orange and flip-flops. And they do that, you guys. So if they do try and bolt or anything, they will be visible. You'll see a guy or think more like, oh my God, when you see a guy running away in orange as to a guy running in a suit, right? I mean, it's a safety issue. I like that. Okay, seating and attendance in Ada County Courtroom. We're just going to breeze through this because it's the second part of this that I am like, wow. So seating for the victims, families, the defendant, counsel, and other court personnel. Certain seating may be reserved by the court for designated individuals, including but not limited to authorized court personnel, security, the defendant's family, victim's family, and others specified by the presiding judge. Public seating. Subject to the need for reserved seating referenced in 1A, seating for the public will be permitted in the courtroom as space permits on a first-come basis. There will be no priority designated seating area for the media. So if the media isn't first in line, they ain't going to get a seat in there. No person may reserve seats except as indicated in 1A above. That's for the families and victims and stuff like that. Standing attendance when open seating is unavailable will not be allowed. So if you can't fit into one of the seats, you're not allowed to stand in the back of the courtroom. Forget it. Ain't happening. Entry and exit during court proceedings. All spectators, including members of the media and public, will be seated before court is in session and during any portion of a hearing No entry or re-entry to the courtroom shall be permitted while court is in session. So if you got to get up and go potty, you're not coming back in until there's a break. Other restrictions and requirements, broadcasting of proceedings, security screening. All persons entering the courtroom may be subject to additional security. So not only when you come into the courthouse, when you try and get into that courtroom, there's going to be additional security screening. That's handbags, backpacks, and other carry-ins are subject to inspection. They're making sure nobody takes Kohberger out. Cell phone and other electronic devices in the courtroom. Cell phones, tablets, laptops, or any other electronic device shall be turned off or be in silent mode and shall not make any sound or create any distraction. Devices shall not be used to record, photograph, transmit any sounds, images, or video from the Ada County courtroom. No one may talk on a cell phone inside the courtroom. If the use of electronic devices such as keyboards are distracting, their use may be prohibited by the presiding judge. Interviews and reporting. No media interviews or reporting shall be conducted inside the courtroom. The public, including media, is also subject to Administrative Order number 2491 regarding conduct inside and outside the Ada County Courthouse. Now, a lot of these are basic, but it's the next ones, you guys. When we get through this one, I think there's, this is the last page. These next ones. So court streaming, they're saying that they're using the court system. Any prior order related to broadcasting of the jury trial in this matter is hereby rescinded. So even though Judge said that the trial will be broadcast, that doesn't mean that this judge is going to do that. He's saying right here that he's rescinding those orders that Judge made. He's going to make his own orders, okay? Any person violating the terms of any portion of this order may be removed, temporarily and or permanently excluded, and any recordings or images violating the order may be seized and or deleted. In addition, the person in violation may be charged with contempt pursuant to Idaho Code Section 18-1801 and or trespass pursuant to Idaho Code Section 18-7008 and or other such charges as may be appropriate, and also may be imprisoned or fined. It is so ordered. The 18th day of September. Sorry, I'm drinking my coffee as we go here. I wonder if he'll be shackled. I don't know. Nene says, sucks to be you. Don't want an incident like what happened in Kentucky where the judge was shot, although different scenario. Yeah. I don't know if I haven't heard of a judge being shot, but I heard of a defendant jumping over and attacking a judge. Leslie, Sarah Boone has a shock monitor attached to her ankle. Didn't ever know that was a thing. Interesting. He needs to be in orange until trial. Right. He brutally murdered 4 people. He's a risk. Okay, so in chat, I'm going to have to remove that comment. Charlotte, sorry. Please mask your words in chat. YouTube is very sticky. So instead of saying the M word, please mask that word. Carol says every time Anne goes on too long, Bryan should be zapped. I agree. Hello, Sybil. Nice to see you, my dear. I'm wondering if he's going to unseal some stuff too. That's okay, Charlotte. Okay, so here comes the interesting part, you guys. This is what's freaking me out. It's like, whoa, this judge is not putting up with any SH. Beep. He's not putting up with it. He put an administrative order. Okay? Administrative order. This administrative order governs during all hearings and the trial in State versus Kohberger. So he is citing this case specifically. and related proceedings in that case, Kohberger matters. The provisions of this order control over the provisions of administrative order. See this? Whoops, come on. So his new order, which is up here, is going to override the order that was ordered by Judge John Judge. Okay? So what he is saying here is his order, the provisions of this order control over the provisions of Administrative Order 21.5, 21.1, where there is a conflict in their terms. So if there's anything in Judge John Judge's orders that's different from Judge Hippler's orders, Judge Hippler's orders will be in control over the old order that was made by the previous judge. Access. Court security personnel may restrict public access. Listen to this, you guys. Court security personnel may restrict public access to any stairwell or other area of the courthouse or courthouse grounds if necessary for security. Security personnel, and he's naming Kohberger like to the name. This isn't just in general. This is regarding the Kohberger trial. Security personnel may also restrict access to any floor of the courthouse being used for the Kohberger matters. So he can close off the whole floor of the courtroom. So closing it off for Kohberger matters to 1, persons unauthorized to have access to the courtroom or other rooms being used for the Kohberger matters, persons attending other court proceedings being held on that floor, and 3, persons having business with the court or court entity on that floor. Court security personnel may erect temporary barriers, including the courthouse stairwells, to aid in the enforcement of this provision, so long as the barriers do not prevent or substantially impede egress in the event of fire or other emergency. Court security personnel may organize or disperse members of the public and media seeking access to the Kohberger matters. What does this mean? That means if people are lined up out the door and around the corner, court security can go out and say, disperse. Get the hell away from the court steps, from the court door, like the entrance to the courthouse itself. Get off the sidewalks leading up to, they can tell them, get the hell out of here until we're ready to go. So they can stop people from lining up outside as necessary to enable other persons having court business or businesses with an entity in the courthouse to have access to the courthouse. And that's exactly what I just said right there. They can stop people from lining up outside. We seen in, I think it was the Lori Daybell, people were camping out there, bringing chairs and coolers and everything. He can stop that all. Okay? Like he's running this with an iron fist. Seating. Public and media seating in the Kohberger matters open to the public will be on a first-come basis in a method as determined by the trial court administrator. If a reservation, and that's a big if, okay? If a reservation system is utilized by the trial coordinator for the trial, no member of the public or media will be allowed access to the location where the Kohberger trial is being held, absent proof of a reserved seat. Look at that, you guys. Look at this. No member of the public or media will be allowed access to the location, which means the floor, where the Kohberger trial is being held, absent proof of a reserved seat. So, what's that mean? That means that you can't line up outside the courtroom and wait for somebody to come out so you can jump in and take their place. You can't line up out at the courthouse steps to the main entrance. You can't do any of that. No person shall be admitted into the courtroom while court is in session. So if they do implement this reservation system, unless you have proof of a reserved seat, you're not going to be even allowed in the courtroom for this hearing. If that's your objective, is to get in for the Kohberger, you'll be stopped downstairs at the main entrance to the court, unless you can show proof that you have a reserved seat. All cell phones and other electronic devices must be turned off and be in silent mode in any courtroom where the Kohberger matters are being held. You notice how he specifies the Kohberger matters? No audio or video recording of photography of any kind, except for recording or broadcasting approved by the presiding judge, will be permitted outside of the courtrooms or in any other portion of the courthouse. So you can't even interview people outside of the courtroom or on the court, downstairs the courtroom. No. Regardless of whether the courtrooms are being used for court proceedings. This prohibition does not apply to the spaces in the courthouse occupied by 9 non-court entities, but does apply to courthouse common areas, including on the first floor of the courthouse, which I just said. You can't go outside of the courtroom and do an interview, say, of one of the defense attorneys or witnesses or somebody coming out of the court or prosecution or defense. You can't, not even on the court inside the court, nowhere. It also does not apply inside of courtrooms or other rooms in the courthouse where court proceedings are being held. Yeah, I was mind blown, and we're not even done. We've got a bit more to read. Like, he's running this with an iron fist. Yes, justice for the victims. He's going to make sure no appeal or errors is very important. Yes. Yep. Yeah, no sneaking around at all. I think this is going to be, I think this is what the case needed. I think Bill Thompson needed to be off this case. And I think this new judge needed to be on this case. And I think that I was against it being moved, but now that I'm seeing this, I'm all for it. I'm glad it's being moved now, because I do believe that the hearing that we are going to watch right here live, you guys, Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is 2 p.m. Idaho time. When we see this hearing, we are going to see how the judge is going to be acting, how he's going to control or not control his courtroom. But I do feel that he is going to be 100% better in controlling the narrative than Judge John Judge. I think that Ann Taylor will not get away with scolding the judge or over talking the judge or telling the judge how things are going to be. I think that even new prosecutors on this case are going to be standing up and fighting for these victims, which I think Bill Thompson had checked out. He wasn't protecting anybody. Nearing the end, I think he checked out. So let's go on. Where were we? I forget where we were. Okay, so we were here. It also does not apply inside of courtrooms or other rooms in the courthouse where court proceedings are being held if audio or video recording or photography in those rooms is permitted by the presiding judge in the case. So if there's another court case going on in another courtroom, then they can go in and record that if they have the okay from that judge. No audio or video recording or photograph may be taken of any juror, prospective juror, or alternate juror in the Kohberger trial within or on the grounds of the courthouse, including in any parking areas of the courthouse. So they can't run up to the vans and you know what I mean? Which is good. Interviews and recorded media appearances. No media interviews or recorded or live on-air sessions or appearances may take place within the courthouse common areas or courtrooms. So they're going to have to set up across the street or something from the courthouse because they're not allowed even on court property. Recordings, interviews, or broadcast media activity outside of the courthouse may be restricted in certain areas. Further, no such media activity may restrict or hinder access to the public of the public to or from the courthouse. So I think it's going to be no interviews, nothing, no camera setups on court grounds, period. Misconduct. Any unruly or disruptive behavior as determined by the court or court security personnel in the courthouse or at or near the courthouse entrances areas may result in removal and may also result in prohibition on further entry onto the courthouse grounds or into the courthouse and or the courtroom where the Kohberger matters are taking place. So go against his orders, and I'm telling you, you're gone. You're not allowed back even in the courthouse, right? Carol, I love it. Louie Lou, hello and welcome. Any person violating the terms of this order may be removed, and any recordings or images taken in violation of this order may be seized and or deleted, and or the person may be charged with contempt pursuant to Idaho Code 1801 and or trespass 187008, and or such other charges may be appropriate, the consequences of which may be include imprisonment and or a fine. The terms of this order expire at the commencement of the next business day after the trial has concluded. So this doesn't end when the verdict comes in and the sentence. No, it carries on for a full day till the next day. So even at the end of all this, you guys, once the verdict comes in, if he's guilty or not guilty. If he's guilty, there will go to the second phase. Ann Taylor wants a third phase, but I believe that the judge is going to say, no, this is the way that we have done it. It goes from, the guilty, not guilty phase, that part of the trial. Then it goes into like a mini trial for sentencing, what the sentence should be, where the jury then goes back in and deliberates as to the death penalty or not, right? But she wants a third phase before the sentencing phase. She wants a third, and I don't think this judge is going to have nothing of that. It's going to be Ann Taylor, get the hell out of here. This is the way it's been done for mega years, 50, 60, 70 years. This is the way we're going to continue to do it. She brought that up in her last filings that she filed with the court. 148 or 438 pages, citing other cases and case law going back to 1948, where it should be 3 phases instead of just, the verdict phase and the sentencing phase. She wants another phase added. Come on now. Come on. Ann Taylor wants things her way. She wants justice and the way the justice system works. She wants it the way she thinks it should work and not the way that it has been for all these years. So I do believe Mr. Thompson and Ashley Jennings is out. Like I said, going back to the hearing here, the notice of hearing, the only people that have been served, the judge makes it clear right here that all parties and counsel are required to be present. Certificate of service ordering these people to be there is Jeffrey D. Nye, Ingrid Christina Beatty. If you haven't seen this already, those two have been sat in on some of the Kohberger hearings, but they are from the Idaho Attorney General's office. These two, they're the only two on the prosecution side that have been served with this notice to appear. Bill Thompson and Ashley Jennings has not been served. So I believe that they're off the case. And then you got Eliza and Ann Taylor down here. And those are the two defense attorneys. So they are ordered. All parties and counsel are required to be present. So does that mean that Bill Thompson and Ashley Jennings are off the case? I believe so. That is only my opinion. So this again, he is making sure that this order is in effect until the following day after this trial is finished. Not just the trial verdict stage, but the sentencing phase also. Once that is done, you still can't go in the courthouse. You can't do anything in that courthouse or on court property until the next day after this is done. Bubbly Waters, hello and welcome. And Judge J. Hippler has signed this. And here is the certificate of service for these orders. Now, in these orders, William Thompson, Jeffrey Nye, Ann Taylor, Eliza have been served with this. And William Thompson and Ashley Jennings were served with this. Now, what does that mean? I believe that they are on notice that they cannot speak to media regarding this case until it's over. So they are not, even though they have been served with the orders of the court, they have not been served to be at this hearing. And this is going to be a status conference hearing. And as you can see, the only people served here are Jeffrey and Ingrid, Eliza and Ann for the defense. There is nobody else here served. That's the end of the document. So over here, this is, I think they're just on notice that they are not allowed to talk about this case. We'll have to see what happens come Thursday. Make sure you are here, because we've also got Jeffrey D. Nye and Ingrid Beatty here also. And they are from the Office of the Attorney General. They are from, and William and Ashley are from the Latah County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. And Taylor, Eliza, they are the only ones on this document, and this is the end of the document. So what does this mean, you guys? We'll have to wait and see on Thursday. I am not expecting, as per this notice here, I'm not expecting Bill Thompson or Ashley Jennings to be there. I believe that Jeffrey and Ingrid are going to be there. They're from the Idaho State Attorney's Office, and I believe we will find out then if Bill Thompson's off this case. Is Ashley and Bill off this case? You'll have to be right here with us on Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern. So figure out your time zone from 4 p.m. Eastern. I know it's 2 p.m. Idaho time. We're going to be covering this live. The media, some of the local TV stations have wanted and put in to be able to cover this and broadcast it. The judges said absolutely not. The judge will be using the court system to broadcast it. So I will be live streaming it right here. So make sure you're here Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Idaho time. And we're going to watch it. We're going to have these questions answered. I am pretty much, and it's just my opinion, I believe that Bill Thompson and Ashley Jennings are going to be off this case. If that is the case, I think he should be off the case. Is that going to prolong things? Probably. But I feel like Bill Thompson, what do you guys think? I feel Bill Thompson checked out long ago. Like, he gave no argument. He brought no witnesses, no experts for the change of venue. Judge John Judge says, we just can't do it here. We don't got the security. We don't got big enough rooms. We don't got this. We don't got that. It's going to take away from our little kumbaya coziness here. People are going to have to take on too much extra responsibility. They won't be able to do what they've got to do for the other general public. Their focus would all have to be on Bryan Kohberger, and then we wouldn't have nobody to do the other court things that need to be done. He had all kinds of excuses, right? So, and the reason why it was put out to 2025 was to accommodate all that in Moscow. The parking, the motel rooms, the goings on at the courthouse, stuff like that. That's why it was put out for a year, right? And now that's just the hand wash. Like, what was the sense of that? Judge John Judge knew that all this would be an issue back 2 years ago. Why wait till now, right? Bella from New York. Bella, New York says, don't be upset, folks, when BK walks. He's not their guy. Prosecution will remain the same. That isn't going to change. Bill Thompson may have help about it. Difference of opinion. I do think that he's going to be found guilty. I think I'm at 90% that he will be found guilty. I'm leaving that 10% because there is always a chance that he walks. Look at, and Bella, thank you for your comment. Even though it's different from what I think, that's cool. But in your defense too, look at what happened with the Barry Morphew. I'm 100%, 100, not 90 like in the Bryan Kohberger, 100% Barry Morphew took Suzanne's life and he walked. So could this happen? Like Bella said, to me, there's a 10% chance, right? Carol says quite a few book deals. Yep. And it's pretty bad that the head honcho at the University of Idaho put out a book too, right? Sex to be Used says, if any deals come out, proceeds need to go to the victims' families. I agree. Carol says, my calendar doesn't go out that far. Bella says he's not going to be off the case because he's not their guy. Most know this. Well, I don't think that's a fact at all. I think that they have tons of evidence against him, and we could argue back and forth till the cows come home, or debate. I don't want to say argue because it's not an argument, it's a debate. We could debate that back and forth till the cows come home. We're going to have to wait and see what comes out at trial, right? I believe that there is enough to convict him. There's people that believe that Bryan is not their guy. And we are each entitled to our opinions. And I respect you, Bella. I respect your opinion. And we'll go from there. Yeah, Bill Thompson just sat there. I do believe he's going to, I hope he's off the case. Bubbly Water says, oh, heck, no. Oh, heck, me too. Off the case, 100% my vote. Yes, it would be a blessing, in my opinion. Carol thinks 1%. I'm giving 10% because you don't know what the defense is going to come out with, what we don't know yet. So I'm leaving that 10%. 90%, I believe they got the right guy. There's a 10%, which is reasonable doubt. If I was to sit on the jury, like if I was asked right now, do you think Bryan Kohberger did it? If I would have, with only what we know, okay? With only what we know, I think 90% they have enough to convict, but there's that 10%. What does that mean? If I was on the jury right now, that would mean I would have to say not guilty. And that's not because I don't think he did it. It's because I have that reasonable doubt, right? So for me sitting with what we know right now, if I had to sit on a jury and give a verdict based on what we know, only what we know, not all the lies and the speculation and all that crap, what we know, what's in the court documents that we've seen, what we've heard at these hearings, my verdict would have to be they didn't prove their case beyond all reasonable doubt because I have a 10% leeway there. I do believe he did it, but I would have to say not guilty just with what we know. Now, once court comes and everything is presented, all this stuff that's been done under seal and all this maybe more evidence that they have, There may be enough that I say, okay, all reasonable doubt is they have met their burden. Or I may say, whoa, wait a minute. We didn't know this. Something Ann Taylor or the defense brings up that is a wow factor, like, holy crap. That could change my opinion. So I'm leaving it open for that. Leslie says, and the evidence against BM was huge. Yes, I agree. Very Morphew. And that was, thank God Linda Stanley is off. She's lost her job. By the third week of this month, she has to turn over everything she has. She's lost her license to practice. So thank God for that. It's because of her that he walked. It's because of her. Carol, I haven't seen 10% of anything yet to show innocence. I'm not saying that I have seen 10%, Carol. Don't get me wrong. But I can't make my final decision. I'm leaving that 10% open because there is a chance, Carol, that defense comes out with something that's been under seal that we have no knowledge of. I have to remain open-minded, or this wouldn't be fair, right? So there's a chance I have to leave that door open for the defense to bring forth something to change my mind. If they don't, then my verdict stands that he's guilty. But I have to leave that door open. Bubbly Waters, that's interesting that you believe they may have more evidence. Time will tell. I don't think he did it. Too many ifs. Thank you for being honest. You're very welcome. Right, Leslie. I need everything, not just what we have seen, because I could bring up the record right now, the continuing record, and there is so much from both the prosecution and the defense that has been filed under seal. Now, the one thing that was brought out, Bryan Kohberger was driving around. He was at this park and checking out the stars, and I don't believe that. So that is not going to change my mind. Number one, the night that he went out, it was raining, it was overcast, and there was no stars out. So him going to this closed park and stargazing, doesn't fly with me. It had rained. It was overcast, like very, very cloudy. The park was closed. There was a barrier. So he could not have been sitting on the hood of his car watching the stars because there was no stars out. So I don't believe that at all. And that's really only what I've heard from Ann Taylor is his alibi, right? And if that was his alibi, then why didn't you tell it right at the beginning? The waiting until they get what they feel is all the evidence before they'll give an alibi, to me, was making up an alibi. And I think everybody's seen that. Delaney says, hello, Bubbly Waters. Yes, it has to be more than that. I believe he did it, but not sure alone. He asked when he was arrested if anyone else had been arrested. Yeah, that was a comment that he had made. The prosecution, and like I said, we got to wait till trial, you guys, because none of this has been proven yet, or disproved. Bryan did say that. He made that comment. And that has sparked a lot of our interest, right? Like, what the hell, right? So it's like, what did he mean by that? That's probably part of the defense's stuff that we have not seen. I'm sure that comment, the defense is going to use it. The prosecution has stated even till now openly that they've got their guy. There was nobody else. So if the defense has something, we're not going to know until trial. Is the weather that much different between Pullman and Moscow? I don't know. I know there was a channel that had brought up the weather things that you could go back on, and they did it live, where they could check back. I think it's like a long time, but this was when he came out with that alibi. People went back and checked what the weather was like and everything that night. Now, it was cold. It was November, you guys. So was it freezing rain? Was it, raining? But I know they said that it had rained, I believed. It was overcast, very cloudy, no stars out, and the park was closed. Bella, there's nothing wrong with stargazing. Nothing, absolutely zero wrong, except for the night of this happening, the taking of their life happened. That night, there was no stars out, so he could not be stargazing. It was cloudy, overcast. There was not a star to be seen that night. And where he said he went to this park up on the hill where he always goes stargazing up in this park, the park was closed. The park was closed. So there's no way that he could have been stargazing. They went back in history to what was the weather that night. It had rained and it was overcast. There was no stars. It was not a clear night that night. That's been proven. Morning, Norma. Where is she? Where is she? There's Norma. Good morning, Norma. Good afternoon where I am, but good morning. Yes, the weather was inconsistent with stargazing. There was no stars out. It was overcast. And they brought it up. It was not clear that night. And then it rained. It snowed the next day. So Carol said it was raining. Yeah, I know. I had, now this was months ago. So, and you guys know my memory. Unless I write it down. I mean, in hundreds of pages of notes here from the Kohberger case, I believe they're in there somewhere. But I do remember them saying that it had either just rained or was raining. It was cloudy and there was no stars out. Yes, you'll have to go back and check Bubbly Waters, but it was cloudy. Yeah, the worst alibi ever. And I think we did a mapping on that area. You guys that are in here, do you guys remember if we did the mapping on that area? And also, if I remember correctly, I think we did do the mapping. Let me see if I can bring it up. Hang on a sec, you guys. Let's go to the map. Let's bring up the mapping. Google Earth. Okay, hang on, you guys. Here, let me show you the screen. Share screen. I don't want to share it that way. I'm going to share it this way so I can point to things. Okay, hang on. Okay, so this was his travels. Okay. Let's bring this up. Oh, I do have it on here. Okay, so this is where his phone pings, right? All in here. His phone starts pinging again here. They've got all his pings from leaving. Let's go over here. Let me just see. Okay, Bella, I'm going to show you why. Yes, thank you, Pamela. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the night that this happened, they've got him leaving, right? Going around here, up and around. His cell phone cuts out here, but his car is picked up on video. This is the last cell tower. His phone bounces off. This is his route here. And I do believe that they have him on camera going by some of these places. Like I said, we don't have all the evidence yet, you guys. We don't have everything yet. So we have to go by what we know, what's in the documents. His car is seen here. Now he goes through this residential area, 3:26 a.m. They got him on camera here. They got him on camera here. And then this is where he's going all around the residence, where back and forth, whether you believe it to be his vehicle or not. They've got him in this area. Then they've got him leaving up and through this way, right? He lives in the vicinity. No. It's just not that he lives in, he does not live near where he went. Let's just go over this map. So they've got him leaving this way, right? Coming out this way by camera. Okay. This is now between here. They have some kind of video surveillance in this area. I believe it's right here. But they haven't released that like they did over here. They released these two spots in the probable cause affidavit. Over here, they've only released this. So they believe that they have him here too, but we haven't been able to see that. So they believe this is the way he came out, because the next time his phone is put on, they believe he came here. Here's where his phone comes back on. He turns his phone back on right here. They track his vehicle this way. Okay. They track his vehicle coming up this way, here, and coming back to his residence up here. So once he turns, don't forget, his phone, when he leaves his apartment, coming down here and coming across here, his cell is telling them, his cell phone is telling them he's going this way until he turns it off right here. His cell phone, after he leaves, they got him coming out this way. His cell phone comes back on here. He turns his cell phone back on. Bella, New York says, do they have a license plate? No, I don't believe they do. Well, not that we know of yet, but don't forget, Bella. Okay. Okay. There is a camera on this house that catches him. Wait, whoops, right here. On this house right here in this area, there is video of him coming up this way. That's pretty clear. And what they could see right here each time he passed is that white car that they believe to be the Hyundai had no front license plate. Both Washington and Moscow require front license plates, whereas his car was registered in Pennsylvania, which does not require a front license plate, right? And the vehicle that they pick up right here on these cameras shows that that white Hyundai, they say it is, does not have a front license plate. He did not get a front license plate until November 18th, long after the murders. Okay? So this white car that is coming back in and out of here that they say is Bryan Kohberger, it does not have a front license plate. Cars registered in Washington and Idaho have to have front license plates. This car coming in has no front license plate. Bryan Kohberger's car at the time of the murders had no front license plate because it was licensed in Pennsylvania that does not require front license plates. So there's that. Then they track his car. Okay. And which way his cell phone is going because he turns his cell phone on. They see him exiting this way. He's caught on a camera over here coming through here. Okay? It's in the probable cause. So the only way to get down to where his phone is turned on right here, he turns his phone back on right here. Now they're able to track him by his phone, which he comes across here. He comes back up here. He's tracked by his phone, coming back through here and going back to his apartment. At no time does his phone show him going over into this area at all to Huawei Park. This is Huawei Park right here. He says he goes in and he goes up into here to an area where he stargazes. Well, the park is closed off. The gate was closed. He couldn't get in there. At no time, by his cell phone data and car GPS, does it ever show him going over to this area at all. Okay, let's not attack her for her opinion. She's entitled to it. Let's be nice. Even if we may agree or disagree, let's be nice. Unless it gets nasty, then you're gonna be blocked from chat. But not you, Carol. I'm not talking to you. But let's keep it nice. Everybody is entitled. There's a lot of people that think he's not guilty. I'm showing you why I can say this never happened. Because he turns his cell phone on over here just after the murders occur. He turns it off here. It comes back on over here. And this is the route that he goes. You wouldn't head this direction. Your cell phone shows he's heading this direction. And then he turns his phone back on over here. It does not show him. If he was just going to Huawei, he would not have traveled this way at all. He would have gone from his apartment down this way. And there is nothing there saying that he did. I'm behind in chat a little bit. Mr. Crow says it was snowing. He did return to the area the next morning. Okay. So I've got that too. Let me just get up here. There's so much written in here. I forget where it was picked up. Let me just go over here and see to the area. Okay, right here. He bounces off this cell phone tower right here at 9:12 and 9:21 the next day, like the next morning, like 4:21 a.m. on November 30th is when they believe this all happened. He leaves, he goes home. At 9:12 and 9:21, this cell phone tower captures them again in the area. So was he going to go back and check to see if he had dropped the sheath anywhere? I don't know. But he was back in the area at 9:12 and 9:21 a.m. So he gets home at what time? Let's see. See, because at 9 a.m. his phone is home. Let me just see. So 5:27 in the morning, he's here. So say by 6 o'clock in the morning, he's back home. And at 9 o'clock in the morning, his phone is still home, but then he leaves again. So it takes 15 minutes to get from his place over to that house. So at 9 p.m. he's home. His phone is showing he's home. But then at 9:12 and 9:21, he comes into the area at between 9:12 and 9:21. He's back in the area here. And then he goes on a Tijan. He ends up going back down here again. Where's that area? Over here. At 12:30, he's caught on camera over here in these areas, way down here. He's caught in these areas. I haven't mapped it all yet, so I'd only mapped this area. Bella says, I'll wait for the evidence. Yes, me too. Me too. And that's why I'm saying, Bella, that I'm keeping an open mind of giving that 10%. Because if they can show me that he did come over here, because so far all his cell phone data and car data shows this here. It does not show him coming over here. That's not true. They have, don't forget over here, there's a lot, like I said, that is under seal. There is not only the video camera from Linda Lane, they have video cameras from all of these buildings. This one, this one, this one, this one over here, and the light bulb camera here that captures his car. Now, we don't know anything about the video over here. It's all under seal. They have the DNA on the knife sheath. How they got it is irrelevant at this point, as far as I'm concerned, because it's been proven that it is his DNA on that knife sheath that was found under the leg of Madison Mogan. Okay? Regardless now of how they got it, the IgG, that is irrelevant, because once they arrested him and they did that buccal swab, they got his DNA from that buccal swab, and that DNA matched the DNA on that knife sheath button. 1,000,000,000,000,000% DNA matched to Bryan Kohberger. At first, all they said through the IgG was the DNA that was left on the knife sheath was connected to Bryan Kohberger's father. That it would be Bryan Kohberger's father's son. It was a male DNA, and it would be an offspring of Bryan Kohberger's father. There's only one male, but that doesn't even matter anymore, because they've got the DNA printout of that, what was on that knife sheath. They have that DNA printout. That DNA printout matches Bryan Kohberger's buccal swab that they took from him when he was arrested. 1,000,000,000,000%. It couldn't be anybody else's. Yes. Yeah, if I was innocent, I would have been shouting from the rooftops my alibi right away. Like, go check it before the cameras are erased, whatever. Go check it. They've caught me on camera. There's cameras here. Go check it. I didn't go nowhere near there. You will see my car going there. There's nothing. I would have been screaming from the rooftops. Yeah. And don't forget, we don't have all the information from either side, you guys. That's going to come out in trial. Nana says the prosecution has more than the DNA on sheets. There was no DNA on sheets. It was on the knife sheath, the button of the knife sheath. Otherwise, they would not have been able to get a warrant, right? You can't incarcerate somebody like this and charge him with the charges he's facing with nothing. It would have been thrown out long ago. The other two DNAs, I believe, from the little bit of information that we have gotten regarding that, Bella, they did investigate that. Now, we don't have, I don't think I can give, hang on a sec. I don't think I can give a good answer on that because we don't have all the information. But the little bit of information that was leaked out is those two DNAs were investigated and they were cleared. Now, could that have changed during this investigation? We don't know. Like I said, because there's so much, like almost everything that was put out has now been put out under seal, right? So, did the defense maybe find, like, do their own testing on that those two other DNAs and find something? We don't know. It could very well be. We won't know until trial. Did the prosecution do testing on that DNA and investigate that as to how that DNA got there? Why would it be there? And rule it out? We don't know. So that's why I'm saying I'm leaving that 10% because there's still things we don't know. Why are they not concerned? Why is the prosecution saying absolutely not? There's nobody else involved. If there was these two other DNAs, we won't know until trial. So that's going to be my answer for now, Bella. Yes, we'll have to see at trial. I don't believe that at all. PCA is probable cause affidavit. Yeah, I'm not going to be pulled into anything. I'm standing with what I believe, 90% I believe right now, that they got the right guy. Not only am I seeing it by the evidence, I'm going by my read on this. If you go back and you watch my read from December 6th, when I asked about the perpetrator, this is long before we even heard the name Bryan Kohberger. This is 3 weeks before we even heard that they had a suspect. It came out in that read. Go back to my December 6th read. And in that read, it came out that this is somebody that worked at the college, that did gave lectures or something along those lines, described Bryan to a T. It also said in there that came out in that read that the police have something and they're not telling us. They know who it is, but they're further investigating it. Well, we later learned that that was the knife sheath. It all came out in my read on December 6th. You guys, the timestamp is there on that reading. And what's progressed since then, what we found out 3 weeks to a month later, when Bryan Kohberger was arrested, and then when the probable cause affidavit came out and described who Bryan Kohberger was, that he worked at Washington State, everything lined up from my reading from the month before. Can't make this stuff up, you guys. It came out in my read long before we knew about a knife sheath, long before we knew about Bryan Kohberger, everything. Go check it out. Maybe I'll link it. At the end, I will put a card up at the end of this video with it on there, or link it in the description, one of the two. I still believe he did it, but I have to leave that 10% open. I believe it had rained the day before, and then the next day after the murders, it snowed, or it was started to lightly snow. I'm not exactly sure, but you can clearly see in the videos when the police were there that it had snowed. So did it turn to snow overnight? I'm not sure. Yes, I believe that he got rid of everything between here and here. I think that he disposed of things that, like, whatever he wore and the knife before he turned his cell phone back on. He turned his cell phone back on here. It bounced off this tower. So he turned his cell phone on somewhere down here. So I believe it's that knife sheath is in this area somewhere. And he didn't have much time. He had like 10 minutes. So it's going to be, I believe, in this area. This is where, what's this? Somewhere here, maybe. I had an area that I had. Yeah, I think it was here. Yeah, I believe it's here that he disposed of things. But I don't think he turned on his cell phone until he disposed of whatever he was wearing and the knife. So I do believe that it was in this area between here and here, which is quite a distance, you guys. Here, as the crow flies, 4 miles out. Because there's extra time there. Because this route here to get down to here should have only taken a certain amount of time. And it took him 10 minutes extra to get there. If you were going the speed limit, it took him 10 minutes extra. So I believe he stopped somewhere in here and disposed of things. That's just my opinion. No, they do not have him nor his car. They have his car. The car. Because it was in either the court documents or one of the hearings that this is that light bulb camera caught him here. And there was no front license plate. And it was quickly sealed. So it's all under seal right now. This light bulb camera, it was really clear. You could see the license plates on all these vehicles here. And he came up here, which was caught on this light bulb camera. This is the other camera where they said it's right by where, well, the house is gone now. This is where the house sat. And it's this camera, this or this one, that picked up the noises, they say. Right. There was a lot that came out that we didn't know. They'll be using it at trial. You bet your booty they're going to be using it at trial. I don't know where you heard they wouldn't be using it. That's their main piece of evidence. They will be using that knife sheath. They're not going to be using the genealogy information at trial, but they are going to be using that DNA on that knife sheath. You can bet your booty on that. Bella says, the trial will be interesting for sure. Can't wait to hear why DM didn't call. Yes, Bella, yes. I am so interested in, like, why didn't she call 911? And then one of the frats call, house torn down, jury won't be able to see the house, contaminated crime scene. They do have that 360 whatever of the house. And I mean, some of that can be very good. I totally disagree with this house being torn down. Totally disagree. It's happened now. There's nothing we can do about it. They did go in and take these 360 scans. It's almost like being in the house where you know, they can show you walking up the stairs, but it's still not the same. I think that that's going to hurt the prosecution, that house coming down. If the jurors do want, if I was on the jury, I'd want to go in and see the house. I want to see how it was set up. The things coming out of that house never should have happened. Everything should have been left. Everything that was in that house should not have been touched till after the trial. I'm sorry, other roommates, you're not going to get your stuff. You're not going to get your personal items. It's going to stay exactly the same. So when the jury, if the jury did want to go through, they would be able to hear Like, what could you hear? Would that echo? Would, there's so much that I would have wanted to see if I was on the jury. So I do believe that house coming down was one of the biggest mistakes made. Could it hurt the prosecution? It very well could. I have all the court documents, and I've streamed every one of the hearings. I do catch a lot. I don't know how long you've been here, Dream. I catch a lot because I worked in criminal law for over 30 years. I can pick up very easily certain things that are being said without being said. You know what I mean? Or the way something is said gives me an indication as to why that was just said and what that may pertain to. With experience working in this field, you got a lot of insight and you can pick up on things a lot easier than just, a normal person reading a court document. Leslie says the other DNA could have came from the makers of the sheath. It wasn't on the sheath. It wasn't on the sheath that they found the other DNA. Okay, Bella, you take care, and thank you for your opinion. We differ in opinion, but that's okay. I hope that you come and join us and watch the trial along with us. Yeah, me either. Kopaka has nothing to do with it. He has been totally cleared. But that night people were wearing, I don't know what that means. Where other people wear shorts and flip-flops when it's snowing. Yeah, here too, Tris. I don't know where you are. I'm in Canada, the northern part of Canada. And yeah, I've been known to go and take my garbage out in the middle of winter, minus 40, in my shorts. Throw on a pair of boots with my shorts on and just a t-shirt and run out there to put the garbage out and stuff. Lady, nobody's on their own. Like I said, I appreciate everybody's opinion, and we don't judge here. If you think he's innocent, all the power to you. I personally 90% think he's guilty. I'm leaving that 10% for the trial, for my mind to be able to be changed. Yeah, especially college kids. They've been known to wear some crazy stuff even in the middle of winter. Dream, I had said it had rained prior. If you see those videos, these streets are still wet. It had rained. I didn't say that it was raining during. I said it had rained that night, and that whole night was overcast. So please don't change up what I'm saying. We don't want no word salad here. What I had said is it had rained earlier and it was overcast. Then when you can see them the next day, there was snow. I did not say it was raining during. I said it had rained. So that's why there was an overcast. All night it was overcast. Charissa Jane says, I'm guessing they will have weather records. Oh, absolutely. They're going to have them weather records. I seen the weather records for that night. So transfer DNA. Unspoken Butterfly. Hello, hello. Hey, Willow, have you heard about the sheriff of Kentucky went into the judge's chambers and to him away from this earth? What? I wish you'd do a reading and find out why he did that. What? I have not heard about that unspoken butterfly. When did that happen? I'm so far behind in chat, so I'm sure I will see your answer coming up, but I have not even heard about that. So when did that happen? Yeah, well, I've seen some people, now there's one person I'm going to mention. Please don't mention other channels. I can mention what I want because it's my channel. But please don't mention other channels in the chat. But Gray Hughes did, and I'm not fond of him. We're going to leave it at that. But he does do some good stuff. And he did a whole 3D of that house. And I'm telling you, it looks pretty real. So hopefully with them having the actual cameras inside the actual house, it's going to be even better, the 360 that the police did. I don't know where you're going with that, Dream Sunburn, but I do know that the police had body cams on them when they interviewed. Well, actually not interviewed. They stopped those kids that were out in the field and they were drunk and stuff like that. It wasn't raining at that point, but it had rained. So the body cam, yeah, is showing that it wasn't raining at that point, but it had rained. It could have been at 10 o'clock that night it rained, but I'm telling you, it was an overcast. I seen the records. Yeah, it's bothered me that she didn't call either. Yeah, so we're going to see it all at trial. Like I said, even stuff that had been said was quickly sealed. So for certain stuff, I can't even go back and grab it now because it's been sealed. That was before the judge had sealed everything because somebody was going out there, and I'm not going to, because I don't want to get on that topic of pointing fingers and everything else. Somebody close to the case was giving out too much information. So everything was under seal. But there was documents that were out there at a certain point that I got some information from too that are now under seal. Yeah, nobody was in t-shirts. Hello, Mystic Rose. Good to see you. Yeah, I didn't see anybody in t-shirts. Okay, we're not going on the Kopaka thing. He has been cleared. So we're not bringing him into this conversation. Kopaka was cleared. I'm so far behind in chat, you guys. I don't know what videos you're talking about, but if you're talking about some of the times in September when they showed video of the police going there, that was earlier on. That wasn't November. With the girls, yes. Those videos were from prior police complaints about noise, Dream Suburb. Absolutely, Mr. Gross. Thank you. Yes, he did. It is going to be very interesting. That night, there was nobody in t-shirts. There's no way. There are videos out there where the police go for noise complaints where people are in t-shirts and shorts and everything. That was way back, like the end of August, beginning of September. Mary Michael, hello. Just got in. I've been listening in the car while I was making a few stops. I have to go out later, though. Yes, I hope to see all you guys tomorrow. 1 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing mini reads. So if you want your very own mini read, come and join us tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. I will be doing mini reads for all you guys. So if you do want a mini read, come on and see us tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, some of them are like it's actually walking. Unspoken Butterfly, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. This is a lot of work putting this stuff together and very time consuming, but I'm always glad to bring you guys stuff. I haven't seen anybody else come out with these documents yet, so you guys are going to be some of the first to know about these documents that just came out. Let's stop sharing that and go back to, I don't know if I've got those documents up still. Yeah, this is the new judge. Here's the new judge. So thank you very much, Unspoken Butterfly. I appreciate you. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about D night. It's all on cams. No, I don't think so. Where I live, it can be 80 degrees and snow 3 hours later. Here too, Carol. Yes, thank you, Unspoken Butterfly. How many other people's involved? There is nobody else involved, Angela. Carol says, Willow, I need coffee, but I don't want to leave chat. Dream says there are people at the grub truck. Well, when I seen people at the grub truck, they were in coats. They even had, some of them had toques on, sweatshirts, coats. I didn't see anybody in t-shirts. And if there's somebody at the grub truck in t-shirts, they could have just jumped out of the car to order there. So I don't know why you're bringing that. It's so irrelevant. I believe his comment was a ploy because Mayor Michael says, I believe his comment was a ploy because supposedly that's something Ted Bundy, one of his supposed heroes said when he was arrested. Huh? Just throwing a red herring. That's very possible. Looks like I'm going to have to. Thank you for the mods for taking care of some of those comments, because they're not coming up on my StreamYard for some reason. Nana says, hey, Mayor Michael. But it doesn't matter. People can just jump out of their cars and go and grab their food. I'm talking about, look at the other people at the grub truck that are standing around. They got their hands in their pockets. They got coats on. Some got toques on. Come on. Stop. Somebody said it very good. When people are out drinking and stuff, they go out to grab something to eat. They don't throw on their coats. We know. Do you remember being in college? Do you remember being in high school even? Like, come on, stop. Exactly, Carol. Thank you. Victoria, do you want me to go on about Cy Ray? Because I'll tell you a little secret about Cy Ray. Cy Ray used his equipment, and law enforcement, everybody used to use him before they found out that his equipment was bull. Okay. And they had to reverse a lot of decisions in cases that Cy Ray gave evidence about GPS tracking and stuff. Those cases had to be brought back up and thrown out because Cy Ray's equipment was not accurate, was not what he said it was. If you want some information on Cy Ray, I can tell you because I've investigated it before I started speaking a few videos back about Cy Ray. And any of the, and I'm surprised the prosecution didn't bring that up. But law enforcement canceled his contract and refused to use him anymore because it's unreliable technology. Okay. And a lot of people's convictions got overturned because of Cy Ray's equipment when they found out that it was unreliable and not accurate. So if you're going to put all your eggs in the basket for Cy Ray, you're going to be very disappointed. His technology has been proven to be unreliable and not worth anything. That's why a law enforcement canceled the contract they had with him. And that's why some cases got overturned because it's unreliable. Same here, Dreams. Same here. Yeah, I think that this judge is not going to be putting up with any of Ann Taylor's, let's go back to the early 1800s stuff, or telling the judge how he should run his courtroom or scolding the judge. She ain't going to get away with that with this judge. That's for sure. Okay, hang on. Oh, I'm going to pull it up. Hang on. Hang on, let me find it. It's hard for me just to pull certain things up because I'm in Canada. Okay, I think this is it. Hang on a second because I'm going to show you. Okay, Hang on. Give me a second. Here it is right here. Okay, let me get back over here. I'm going to put this to bed once and for all. This is just one, so don't jump on me. Okay, let me get the comment. Okay, here we go. Ready, Dream? Colorado judge finds C of unreliability in cell phone mapping data used by police. Okay, let's get into this. Police and prosecutors in Colorado and throughout the nation are relying on a company's cell phone location mapping data to help them convict criminal defendants. But a Latimer County judge recent ruling cast doubt on the technology when he barred its use in his courtroom after finding it unreliable and prone to error. Let me just make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Okay. The defense lawyer in that case and an expert witness for the defense say the ruling by the judge could have far-reaching consequences for past criminal convictions and pending criminal cases that relied on the company's cell phone mapping software. Prosecutors and law enforcement throughout the nation have been using data produced by his application to show juries evidence and get convictions in a criminal case, said the defense lawyer Lee Christian. Now it's been ruled as junk science. How many juries were overly influenced by something not scientific and false? The September 20 ruling from District Court Judge Juan, I'm not even going to try and pronounce this last name, prohibited prosecutors from using cell phone mapping technology from a company founded by former Arizona police officer, which is Cy in the trial of a 43-year-old defendant charged with 3 felony counts of stalking his former girlfriend. Prosecutors ended up dropping those criminal charges, though a jury ended up convicting the defendant last month in a companion case of a misdemeanor assault. That charge did not hinge on the cell phone data location. The judge did not take aim at all cell phone mapping data, which is widely used by law enforcement. Rather, his ruling was limited to tracks mapping software from Chandler, Arizona-based ZX. Okay? This is the one that he's called junk science. Okay? I don't see his name. Are you kidding me? Listen, it's coming. The company was founded by a former Arizona police officer in the trial, okay? Founded the technology, the mapping, cell phone mapping technology from a company founded by a former Arizona police officer. That is Cy Ray, okay? Now they're going to name Cy Ray's company, which is called ZX, which go look back at the documents you say you know so well, because it's in there that the defense says ZX was used, okay? Let's continue. Which produces aerial maps prosecutors and police use to estimate the location of the defense cell phone during an alleged crime. In 2021, the Analytics Data Corporation, LexisNexis, acquired ZX. In sum, Trax and his method, blah, 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 sharply admonished by the scientific and... Do you see this? Do you see this? Its methods have been routinely and sharply admonished by the scientific and legal community, and the people haven't directed the court to any evidence showing otherwise. He wrote in his ruling, excluded the use of Trax technology in stock in the case. It's very likely a jury would be misled by the Trax flashy maps and seemingly accurate results, the judge added. But underneath those surface display lies a sea of unreliability that the jury won't see. The Gazette found at least 18 other criminal cases during a 2-year stretch from 2016 to 2018 that relied on ZX Trax technology, at least partially throughout the nation, including double homicide conviction in Weld County. Law enforcement agencies that use the ZX Trax technology include Colorado, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's see. Just to appease you, okay? I'm going to do this. Founder of okay, let's do this. Crap. I'm not going to be able to, damn it. Okay, wait. Ugh. Hang on. I'm being blocked from that. Okay, let me show this. You don't see his name? How about now? Let me know if you see his name now. Do you see his name? Colorado judge finds sea of unreliability in cell phone. The founder of ZX, Cy Ray, a former sergeant in the Gilbert Police Department in Arizona, claims the maps produced by the Track software. Do you see it now? Do you see his name now? Dream? He didn't. And that's one of the problems that we have had with Bill Thompson. Because if I can find this, then they should have already found it. And that's what pissed me off when this was brought up and when Cy Ray was on the stand. Why did he not bring this up? Or are they saving it for trial? I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, this is what I have read. I have investigated this like you wouldn't believe. There's people in here saying, oh, I know this case inside and out. I'm telling you from day one, I've been all over this and everything. Every time somebody's name's mentioned, I'm searching for it. And if I can't get the information, people on my team do. Cases have been overturned where they were convicted on Cy Ray's ZX technology. Look it up. It just peeves me off when I do all this work and people are like, I wouldn't be saying this unless I already know what this is about. Angela, you might be shocked when all the real information comes out in court. People involved, college fraternity, people of the grub truck. Oh, come on, stop it. Stop it. That comment is going. Sorry, Angela. Stop. Just stop. We'll have to check that whole. Yeah. See, what I do, Dream, is I investigate everything before I bring it on my channel. Okay? I investigate everything. Okay? At first you're saying, I don't see his name. I don't see his name. There's his name. So now that I've proven to you that it's Cy Ray, now it's, well, I'll have to check. You should check before you decided to try and project that I didn't know what I was talking about or that I was putting out false information. That's what should have been done. And if somebody was, for somebody to come in and say, I know this case inside and out, and then to question what I'm saying and say that I'm not putting out true facts, you know what I mean? Do you get where I'm coming from? I investigate everything before I bring it to my channel. I verify everything before I bring it to my channel. So now I've had to stop putting out what I'm putting out to prove to you, number one, that Cy Ray is the founder. And even when I showed you a prior police officer, the founder of, well, I don't see his name. So I had to stop and prove to you here, right here, Cy Ray, former sergeant, okay, which was in the other document that I was reading, that I was trying to get to where it was showing that cases had been thrown out, which I'm not going to do because I did it in another video already. And people that are in here know what I am saying is verified. So please go and investigate that and see how many cases have actually been now brought back and thrown out because of Cy Ray's ZX technology that is now garbage. Ugh, I just can't. Where was I now? Oh yes, I was here. Share screen. Here we go. Let's get back to this. Law enforcement agencies that use the ZX Tracks technology include the Colorado Springs Police Department, El Paso, all these. Said Mark Profa, court qualified expert in cellular technology and former detective for the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, who testified for the defense. Denver police say they do not use Tracks software from ZX. The ramifications of this ruling, because now a precedent has been set regarding this ZX precedent, okay? So now a precedent with this judge saying it's garbage technology, it's unreliable, that sets a precedent, okay? So every case that was decided based on information presented by ZX using Tracks could be reviewed and overturned. And there has been cases overturned because of it. Tracks produces aerial maps that plot the location of historical cell site locations and GPS data for cell phones. Police and prosecutors use those maps. They used to. They no longer do. Okay? I can look up. Oh, I should have just kept going because look at that. Boom. There's his name right there. In contrast, ZX draws a circle around a cell phone tower and produces maps that indicate cell phone using a tower likely was located within that circle. The founder of ZX, Cy Ray, a former sergeant, Gilbert Police, claims the maps produced the track software he created are 94 to 90% accurate, 96. Bull crap. Villasenor found that Ray, who did not return telephone messages seeking comment for this article, was not a credible witness. Not a credible witness. His inflated credentials, inaccurately claiming to be an engineer, the judge wrote in his ruling, stressing that Ray had testified that he is more of an engineer than an engineer. As noted, his sole academic degree is an associate's, and there is no evidence that it's relating to engineering, nor is there evidence that Ray's taken any engineering classes. The judge continued. To be sure, he's created a booming business and has successfully pitched Tracks to several law enforcement agencies, but a sound business model doesn't equal an accurate error rate. He said in his ruling that he found 3 earlier cases in which challenges to the use of ZX Tracks technologies were not successful. Judges ended up accepting Tracks-related evidence in those cases, and he found those rulings were unpersuasive. Most compelling are the complete absence of data to support Tracks' perpetuated error rate and the scientific community's wholesale rejection of Tracks methods. He wrote in his ruling, noting that he had found 3 other rulings from judges rejecting Tracks-related evidence or expressing skepticism of that evidence. So go on and look it up and go look at it. Go investigate it before you call me a liar or that I don't know what I'm talking about. Teresa Jane Willow. Thank you. Yes, facts. Exactly. Like, don't come here because I don't put out anything that I have not fact checked and verified. So please take that somewhere else. And it's stuff like that, you guys, that irks me, because then this stuff is put out to the public and then people take it as fact when it's not, right? And that's how this case has turned into a circus. Let's go by facts. Fact check stuff before you put it out. If you're a YouTube creator, fact check your stuff before you put it out. Check it out. Make sure it's factual and verified, because then you get people like that coming out and say, it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. This ain't true. There's no video. That's not his car. Blah, blah, blah. There's no GPS. There's no this. There's no that. You guys are lying. You're making it up. Willow said a UFO was in her front yard. Guaranteed you could show up and take pictures. Absolutely. Yes. So, I mean, if they don't want to believe what I'm saying, go look it up. Go look up Mr. Cy. And this is, and I believe that I said that in the video when I covered that, when this guy was on the stand, and Bill Thompson was pissing him off. I'm surprised Bill Thompson didn't come out with this stuff. He tried to kind of, sort of, and he was shut down by the judge. Right? And it's like, what? Wait a minute. Whoa, don't stop there, Thompson. Don't stop there. I thought for sure he would come out with this evidence to back up what he was saying, and he didn't. And like I said, I think Bill Thompson washed his hands of this case and just was there to be there, just show his presence for a while now. Right? Like, he checked out a long time ago. I think when Ann Taylor would pull her little fit in court and the judge would bat his eyes, or she'd bat her eyes at the judge and, okay, Ann, I'll shut him down for you. Like, stop it. I don't need an apology for people like that. It's like, if you don't believe what I'm putting out and that I haven't verified and fact checked before putting it out to all you guys, then don't come here. I'm not here to make friends. You know what I mean? I'm not here to spread gossip and rumors and put things in that I can't verify or show you proof of. If I say something like, I know I seen it in a court document, I can't prove it right now. You know why? Because it's under seal now. So, can I verify it? No. That's what I will say, right? But anything I put out as fact, I can verify. I just don't like that when people, okay, well, I see it now. I see what you're saying now, but I don't see his name. If you knew as much as you said you knew about this case, then you would know Cy Ray was the founder of ZX and that he was a former cop. I wouldn't have to pull up all the documents to prove it to you. You would already know that. And you were projecting that you knew more than I knew about this case. Factual things. So it's like, don't bring that crap. I don't mind people having a difference of opinion, but when I'm bringing out facts and I'm called, basically, you don't know what you're talking about, Willow, or that's not true, Willow. Well, okay, now you proved that, Willow. Does that X is unreliable, but I don't see Cy Ray's name there. Well, if you investigated like you said you do and know everything, you could wake up out of a dream and see this and know the answer, then you would have known that Cy Ray was the founder of ZX and that he was a former cop. Boom. That's not what you said. Stop it. You said, I don't see his name. That's not all you said. Stop it. Cut your losses. Right? It's like, I'm trying to be as nice as possible. Amen. Amen. I'm trying to be nice as possible. Stop it. It's in chat what you said. Even if some of the mods have removed, I can still see it. Okay, wait. Here's one of your ones. Basically, still, even after I've showed you that Ray had track X and it was junk, a judge made a ruling on it, which is now precedent. It's a junk science. It's unreliable, blah, blah, blah. And it affected other cases. Even when I showed you that, Bill Thompson would react if those were facts, even though I showed you they were facts. So don't say that you said, oh God, don't get me going, because my finger's almost on the block button. Oh. Yeah. Of course she is. Good thing Juror 11 isn't here. Mary Michael, well, things seem to be getting a wee bit gnarly in the chat. And then deny what you said. Because then she comes back and says, Judge believed Ray, the prosecution also. No, the prosecution didn't believe Ray. That's all I'm saying. It's not about me or you. No, it's not. You're trying to make it all about you. You're trying to make yourself look more informed and more knowledgeable than you are. So stop. And that's not all you were saying. You were calling me wrong. So stop it. Anyway, you guys, this Thursday I will be covering this hearing. Teresa, don't let anyone disturb your peace. People try and disturb my peace all the time. All the time. It's good because this live is going to end and I'm going to go on to my daily, but I was trying to be nice. I was trying to okay, here it is. Now I've proved it to you. Let it go. Stop. I don't even need an apology. Just stop. And she could. Well, all I was saying, no, that's not all you were saying. You were trying to make yourself look more knowledgeable than anybody else here. And it wasn't the fact. So, yeah, don't let anyone disturb your peace. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate you. It's like crazy. Like, why can't you just... Anyway, it is what it is. Hearing coming up this Thursday. I'm going to be bringing it to you guys. Tomorrow, don't forget, tomorrow we are going to be doing the live mini reads for you guys. You guys want a mini read? Come and get one tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. Pullman, I always say Pullman, PLLM 30. Glad you're back. Glad to see you back. Nice to see you here. Exactly, Carol. I agree 100% with you, my dear. But yeah, we're going to see. I'm anxious to see how this judge takes control of his courtroom. I'm really anxious. Do I still have his picture? I do. Share screen. Window. Here we go. There he is. This is the judge, you guys. This is the judge. I'm going to be anxious to see how he's going to rule and how he is going to... Okay, let's be totally honest here. I'm more anxious to see if Ann Taylor is going to try and rule the courtroom and rule the judge like she did with John Judge. I'm anxious to see how she is going to talk to and respond and stuff like that with this judge, because from the documents we just read, this judge seems like he rules his courtroom with an iron fist. Thank you, Marie. Mary Michael says, Willow, happened about a day or two ago. Supposedly both guys have been friends for quite a while. They had an argument and the sheriff shot the judge dead right in his chambers. Wow. I'm going to have to look that one up. Let me write it down. Where did this happen? Kentucky, right? If I remember correctly. May have to do a reading on that. I think somebody was asking about it earlier. But yeah, I'm going to be anxious to see if this judge, how he deals with Ann Taylor and her tactics. It's going to be interesting. Yes, may everybody have a blessed weekend. Yes, don't forget about tomorrow. If you do want your very own mini read, come and see us tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. We usually go till about 2:30. So if you do want your own mini read, come on in early and get your name on it so you can see your read. We will be doing live reads, live. So you will get your read tomorrow. You got to be there. Yeah, Kentucky. Okay. Carol says, I heard that. Yeah, I'll look into it. I've got a few things that I got to do today. Get ready for tomorrow's live stream, 1 p.m. Eastern, for live mini reads for you guys. Or you can ask a question. If you just want a question asked, you can ask a question and get that answered live. We do that tomorrow at 1 p.m. This case, yeah, I've got a few things to do this afternoon, so I'm going to look into this probably early evening and maybe do a read on it on Monday. So thank you for mentioning that. There's really not much going on in true crime community, you guys. So there's no real updates. You guys know I pull cards every morning to see if there's been updates in the case. If I see something, I will definitely do an updated read. A lot of people are asking for an updated read on Sebastian and Summer. I pull cards every morning on those cases, and I don't see anything changed. I still believe that Sebastian is near that cell phone tower. Nothing's changed. So I'm not going to just bring it up just for the sake of mentioning, Sebastian's name or Summer's name. I don't do that. You guys know that. So, okay, we're going to wrap it up, you guys. Hopefully I see a lot of you guys tomorrow. If you guys want your very own mini read, we do them live starting at 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. Our clock should be going back again soon. I don't know when, but tomorrow it's 1 p.m. Eastern. Come and get your very own live mini read or live ask a question. So for those of you that join us, I will see you tomorrow, and I'm going to end it like I always do. Please take care of yourselves. Please stay safe. Always be aware of your surroundings. I love you guys to the moon and back. Thank you, mods, for being here. You guys rock. You guys in the chat, thank you for sharing. Thank you for the interaction, your questions, your opinions. I value them all. Well, most of them, except for the trolls. So until then, you guys have a great rest of your Saturday. Hopefully I see a lot of yous tomorrow. Love you guys to the moon and back. Bye-bye for now.